Business leaders and intellectual business community, we come to the last sections of our discussions today. That is how business schools lost their way. Means that how business schools nowadays becoming far and far away from what is expected from the business society, business community about their graduates of MBA students. And we have talked several reasons why this happenings. And in this last segment, we want to talk about what is the ideal thing, and what will be happen in the future, and how business schools should cope with the changing of environment and also with the demand of the future. So how is the best way to manage business schools in satisfying the demands of the real business society? So Pak Datuk, what do you think, Pak Datuk? What is actually the ideal way of conducting a business schools that can answer the demand of current and future demand of business society? I mean, by that way, by discussing this, I believe that University Tun Abdul Razak was already think about this and also planning to go this direction.
Yeah.
Please, Pak.
Yes, okay, thank you, Dr. Bayu. I believe there are two things that I would like to emphasize here. One is, where should the future business school be going? And number two is the issue of what will be the contents or the curriculum of the future business school.
And also, who will be the professors?
Yeah. Okay, we'll come back to that also. Now, in terms of what would be the outcome of the future business school, I think there are three elements which is very important in business schools. Number one is we need to emphasize the self-identity or personal development of business school graduates. We must make sure that the graduates that we put in are those that have got the right attitude, the right aptitude, and of course we have to make sure that the graduates that we have also have the kind of personality, you know, to work in an industry. The second point that we should also emphasize is that as a business school, as a university, you have to promote the body of knowledge. So this is where in the business discipline we are promoting the diverse body of knowledge in the functional areas of marketing, management, finance, accounting, production, and so on. Okay, and that's the second element which is very important. These are the people that actually we need also to some extent. We need scholars, we need researchers, we need academics to create that. Now the other thing is, the most important element is how business school can cope with changing environment. Now this is something that is very difficult to teach, but it is something that we must accept and be able to cope with. Now while these three elements are important, it is also quite critical for business schools to incorporate among the three elements the values.
Do you agree that in 2008 I read an article, and I've been in the same thought for quite a long time. The article mentioned it's time for management to become a profession. So it's time to make managers or management as a profession, just like doctors or lawyers. So what does it mean to become a profession? A profession means a society that has accepted body knowledge as a standard, a system that ensure that the individuals have mastered the body knowledge before being allowed to practice, and also this profession has a commitment to the public good, and also there's a code of ethics that is enforceable. If you don't do that ethics, then you are expelled from that profession by the society of the professions. Do you think management is going towards a profession?
Yes, I believe management in some Western countries is already a professional body. For example, if you look in United Kingdom, there is what we call the British Institute of Management, and the British Institute of Management recognize the professionalism of management, And when you talk about professionals in management, it's not just general management. We realize there's specialized areas in marketing, in finance and accounting, in production and so on. So in more developed countries like in Europe, they recognize this level of professionals.
Yeah, but it means that if we accept this as a profession, management as a profession, then it must be also recognized by the society or represented by the government. For example, those who lead the public company should have certain criteria of this. Let's say should be an MBA, should have professional qualification. It means that he or she should be in the professional association that is recognized by the association. Otherwise, then you are not entitled to lead the public company, for example. I think this kind of rules has not yet seen everywhere in this world. What do you think if this kind of things enforced?
I think one of the biggest problems in trying to make management a professional, like professional bodies like medical, accounting or engineering professional bodies, one of the problems is because I think the code of conduct and the practice of what you meant by professionals in management is still ambiguous, is still not clear. Who do you how do you want to, what do you call that, manage financial managers? Do you charge if there's any problem in managing of company funds? Do you charge him as mismanagement, or is it because it is a financial issue? So when finance, when you talk about finance in organization, it can be an accounting problem. So does it go back to the accounting body, or does it go back or should that go to the management body? So this is the issue that is actually, because management is not a simple discipline, it is a multidisciplinary area, and because of the multidisciplinary area, it covers a wide spectrum. It covers psychology, sociology, accounting, finance and all that. And well, in Malaysia we have to call it a rojak, you call it a gado-gado. So basically this is something that we need to look at it seriously and find out, perhaps at the level of a CEO, then you can say a professional, because at the CEO level he or she would have a comprehensive overview of all the functional areas of the organization. So but at the lower level it will be more difficult, but at a higher level it will be relatively easy.
Okay, so you mentioned that this kind of professional body enforcement will be more visible to the higher levels of people, and also maybe can be more enforceable on the companies that holds the public interest,
and the corporate
rather than
governance.
private interest. I mean, if somebody wants to run his private business, though his private business can also affect other companies as well, but less risky rather than public companies. Okay, Datuk, because of time flies very fast, especially when we talk about this kind of quite complex issue. So I have to make some summary of our discussions before we close this discussion. So business leaders and intellectual business communities, that today we have talked about how business schools lost their way, that created the problem that we have now, that the graduates from MBA schools are not really, what do you call it, directly applicable anymore in the way of their working situations. That makes many companies become dissatisfied because they expect more from the graduates from MBA schools rather than just theoretical knowledge that they have in this from their educations. And we have talked about there are quite several reasons for that. First is that there are many and more professors coming from academicians rather than the professional worlds. I mean, these professors from academicians is just okay if it is balanced by the professors from the real world business, so that these professors that are coming from real world business can give real experience and real touch of the business for the students, rather than talking everything from theoretical point of view. So the balance should be maintained, should be in the very good balance, that the graduates of MBA schools not only knows theoretical but also knows how to apply the theory into the real world. And second is that the merit system in the business schools that now are more geared towards the theoretical professors. That means they value more on doctorate degrees rather than professional, real professional achievements of business people that can teach in the business schools. I think this is something that should be considered by most of business schools, so that more and more professionals, real professionals that have a real touch in business world, are attracted to, you know, contribute more in the business schools. And we also talk about the body of knowledge that is being taught in the business schools, that the body of knowledge not only should consist the theoretical point of view, but also the real application. It means that case studies should be used in business schools, because case studies can give simulations of the real world's problems to the students. But there are also some weaknesses in the current case studies that being used by medical or by business schools, that the case studies are sometimes too old and from other countries. The context is not applicable in the students' context, and also the case study provides a lot of data, more data than it can be gotten in the real world. Yeah, the data was in the case study because it was researched by the persons who prepared the case studies. And the last thing that we talk is that in the future, the business schools should connect more to the real world by, you know, by giving more chance to the students to have a personal development, to have the right body of knowledge, and also to equip them to face the changing environment of the business world. That is our discussion of today. So for you business leaders and intellectual business communities, I hope these discussions will be beneficial for you. We'll meet again in the next CEO reference program. Thank you very much.